right, Revelation Wellness Community. This is a fun one. Today, I get to introduce you to a new employee. That's a weird word. Employee. What would you say? What's a better word than employee of Revelation Wellness?
I think I am a partner. I am
Partner.
your partner in crime.
You are. Friends, Anna Pavey is here. Anna Pavey is our new Chief Operations Officer of Revelation Wellness, which I'll just say in context, if you've been listening to this podcast and doing the Revving the Words, you all know the season we have been walking through, maybe not in complete living color, but you've heard in Revving the Word, I've mentioned how we have needed some roles and just structure change at Revelation Wellness because we've had so much growth and so many challenges as well. And one thing we were missing was a person who has the other side of my brain that I don't have as much of, and that's someone that can help run the day-to-day, the logistics of Revelation Wellness. Because although we are a ministry, full stop, we have to operate like a business. And so Anna is on board. And so today she's hanging out. We're going to get to know her a little bit. Plus, she is going to share a message. We were talking. I'm like, all right, come on and let's talk about this message that you're really passionate about, which is generosity.
Mhm.
So, hi, Anna. Welcome to the Revelation Wellness
Hi,
Podcast.
I'm so thrilled to be here.
Is this
I
your
think
first
I'm
time?
right at, yeah, I'm like month 3 on the job now, just starting
Month
this week.
three. And
So,
that's cool because you get fresh eyes. That's what
yeah.
I said. I want you to come and like kind of share fresh eyes. You're still learning the ministry, but also
hmm
kind of getting, you're deep diving in very fast, immersed in
Yeah.
everything. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
tell everyone a little bit about yourself, Anna.
Sure. Well, I've been working in nonprofit ministry since I was a college student. I was a missionary in France and spent 2 decades there serving, and then back here in the US for the last 12, 13 years. And so nonprofit work is runs in my blood. So
Yeah.
yeah, my many, many years of experience have just kind of found their home now in Revelation Wellness. So it's very surprising but delightful to land here.
And it's so cool, y'all. I don't have time to go into the mess, the way Anna got here, but it is a God story for sure. Positive the way God used circumstances in Anna's life and circumstances in Revelation Wellness to just clash at the perfect time to bring Anna here. So that was such a kindness of the Lord to be obvious that Anna is the one for this time to help
Mhm.
move the mission forward. Okay, so Anna, what do you know about Revelation Wellness to be true about what we do so far?
Oh, so many things. When I interviewed and then when I first started, everyone said to me, "You're going to love the people. The people are so great." And that has proven to be true. So, working with
Mm,
you, Alisa, working with the other colleagues have been so amazing. And now I'm just starting to meet our instructor, our kind of our workforce out in the world as I start
hmm.
to meet people who've gone through one of our programs, one of our certifications, and they're out changing the world. So delightful to meet them, and such a privilege to be part of a ministry that is equipping people literally all around the world.
Yeah. And what do you think Revelation Wellness does? Like, what's the through line of Revelation Wellness, what you're observing?
Yeah, well, what was so cool part of my story is that I am just so passionate about caring for my body
Hmm.
because I believe that our bodies are part of who we are, who God made us,
Hmm.
and that's a through line of yes, God really cares about our hearts, he really cares about our minds, and he cares about our physical beings. And
Mm,
so finding a an integration of that and some peace in combining everything we know about God, um, and finding its expression in our bodies. It's just
so
been
good.
so wonderful through and through. Yeah, like I said, this was already who I was. I've been an
Hmm.
athlete since high school and I've got my journey. We'll save that story for another day. But praising the Lord through what I can do physically and
Mm,
such gratitude when our bodies work and let us do things. It's like
mm.
it found home in Revelation Wellness.
I feel like I want to share this story real quick. Recently, about a couple weeks ago, we were in a really important meeting for Revelation Wellness, really important, like it was pivotal. And soon you guys will hear more about how this meeting is playing out. But it was a really good moment to stop and reflect on what Revelation Wellness has been doing for 14 years. Because when I first said yes, I didn't really know what I was saying yes to. I mean, I had like, the Lord is kind to only give you just a few steps. If He showed you the whole thing, there's just no way. You just think, God, there's no way. How am I going to get there? But I knew enough to take a few steps. And so we've just been taking little steps and little steps for 14 years and kind of following the breadcrumb. But we took a moment to zoom out and really look at what has God been doing. And oh my gosh, we've just had we were in the room with myself, and y'all know Kara. So Kara was in the room, and another friend, a colleague of ours, Katrina. Y'all know Katrina too, if you're a RevWell TV user. And there's just this moment where it really is it was a pivotal moment for me, that I thought, this is it. We're making a decision that this is what we're here to do. And I looked around the room, and Kara and Katrina are like, holy cow, they're winded because we've been running the race for 14 years, and we're like, oh my gosh, it almost seems overwhelming. Like it's almost as if we saw the land and there's giants. And we're like, okay, but Anna's going, let's go. She was ready. Like she
Like,
saw it.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. You guys, this is what we're doing. We're going to do this. Let's
Yeah.
stack hands. And it was a perfect, we needed that. We needed a
Yeah.
fresh eye, a fresh
Mhm.
heart, ready to to take it. And
Yeah.
it was cool. It was just really cool that we all saw exactly what we know we need to be doing. So stay tuned for more of that.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's tell me the story. You're telling me a little bit about kind of something you burned for that feels like this is the
Mhm.
thing. And even when you interviewed for the job, because we did, according to you, a very extensive interview process. Like
I do like to say that, don't I?
you do like to say how
Thorough, thorough,
thorough, extensive.
meaningful.
It was. We all
It
donors.
was
We
important.
don't. It's important money that we're going to
Yeah.
invest in someone. Is it the right person putting out the fleece? God, is this the person? Anyways, it was a process. But one of the reasons you were a candidate that just kept coming to the surface, one, clearly, is you were cut from the cloth. You get it. But also this gift of generosity and this,
Mhm.
where as a
Mhm.
nonprofit, it's something that we need and we thrive on, and yet maybe something to some degree we haven't fully tapped into because we've been so busy doing other things. So we wanted to have you come on
Yeah.
and talk about generosity a little bit. So tell me what's on your mind with that.
Yeah. I just wanted to tell a little of my story. So I grew up in a home, um, my parents, Robin and Alan, if they're listening,
Hi,
they
Robin
better
and
listen.
Alan. I
They
hope
better listen.
so. You have an amazing daughter.
Well, they raised me in a home filled with generosity. From as long as I can remember, giving to global missions was just part of what we did. And my dad had a very steady job, great job. We never went without, and generosity was going to always factor into part of
Mm,
what we did. And my grandpa, so my dad's father, was in the ministry. He was with the Navigators for many years and other ministries. And he was sort of on the receiving end of what the
mm,
generosity of the body of Christ can look like. So I was very close to him, and I grew up with these two models, one who was dependent on people to give to allow him to do his ministry and his work. And the other side was my parents, who were part of those who were called to give.
mm,
Um, when I was headed to the mission field myself, to be totally honest, it was almost a deal breaker that I was going to need raise money because there's so much fear and unknown and
mhm,
independence and
mm,
self-reliance. And I mean, I could unpack that forever. But my grandpa came up to me and he said, there's nothing more powerful than a life of faith when you just see what God's going to do. And that was just a key moment at a key time in my life. And I said, yes. I said, okay. So since
mm,
then, I was 21, I have been somehow involved in fundraising, receiving funds myself, fundraising for others. And it just, the growth from that 21-year-old who didn't want to do it into, I actually am really passionate about this because I've
Mm,
seen what generosity, how it's so transformational for those who give, and how it's also it's how God chooses to do his work. He doesn't need us. He doesn't need
mm,
any of our giving, right?
mhm,
And yet he lets us come in and he lets us give something that we've worked hard to receive, from our pay, and move it towards something that is got eternal impact. So over the years, I've worked with so many individuals and families who give, and time again, what they'll say to me is, we want to know that our work is going towards the kingdom. We ourselves aren't able to go out and do it, but we get to
mm.
work and earn this money. And now we want to give it to make a difference. So it's just a beautiful exchange, of seeing how God allows one to give and the other to receive. And together we're partners in making an impact. So I am very
Mm.
passionate about it because I've been changed and I've seen so many changed. And Revelation Wellness, yeah, we are approaching our year-end campaign where we're raising money. And I'm just so delighted to talk about the power of joining with us, of being a partner with us in that way. And then we
Mhm.
watch and see what God's going to do.
So, someone who's listening who is either wanting to grow in generosity or is ready to, what Revelation Wellness has been a blessing to me. I mean, what should they be thinking about when they're going to be generous? What makes an organization worth giving to?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a great question. So there's transparent, like financial transparency is really
Hmm.
important, and that's of
Hmm.
high value to us. A board that's
Hmm.
monitoring how you use your money. So there's
Yep.
integrity. And both of
Hmm.
those, that was one of the first things I looked for when I was interviewing, is I want to know what our financials are because, so often there's gray activity or even, worse. And
Yeah.
so I can say that I have a close look at everything, that there's a high level of financial accountability. So that's really important. So you know where your money's going, but
Mm-hmm.
also what is the impact? Like, what is this going to help accomplish with this particular ministry? And
Hmm.
I'd even go further and say, is this my passion?
Mm,
Because the Lord just so graciously invites us to give in our areas of passion,
that's
right?
good.
Not everyone needs to give to everything, and
That's
that's
good.
totally okay. But if you're
So true.
passionate about what we do at Revelation Wellness, then yes, it would be a wonderful opportunity to support us.
Yeah. And it is such a untapped territory that we are
Hmm.
pressing into, y'all, at Revelation Wellness. And I know for some of you, maybe you're still struggling too to understand, well, how does this make a difference? And I think I would ask you to think about how you've been changed, how you feel after you use a revving the word, how you feel even just hearing me say the message that your body is something God loves, that you are
Hmm.
loved by God, and that we also know there hasn't been much education and awareness as believers in Christ about the beauty of our body without it being idolatry. How do we get this back? And how do we talk about that? And that's why we equip our instructors to go out. And right now, Anna is going through instructor
Hmm.
training. Like she's
I
all
am.
in. Like, I want to know how deep this goes. How does this thing happen? So maybe tell them a little bit about that because part of your funding here, well, you tell them about training and then we'll come back because you mentioned
Okay.
something to me the other day and I was like, oh, that's insightful. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going through instructor training in for RevFit. I'll be graduating next week. And I
Woohoo!
really just wanted to understand, what is this that we're doing, that we're talking about it. It's been so delightful to see the training. But I'll tell you, some of the highlights for me in this have been imagining the way that we as instructors can minister to the least of these.
That's so
Like
good.
it's kind of expected. Okay, I might go to the local YMCA or I might go to a church and offer a class, and those are wonderful. And we have instructors in old folks' homes, or can we say old
Mhm.
folks' home? In nursing homes. I don't want to
Senior
offend anyone.
centers,
Thank you.
seniors,
Senior
yes,
centers.
senior
That,
centers,
you
prisons.
know, that has really stuck with me. Yeah,
Hmm.
the women's shelters, the rescue
Hmm.
missions. And so
Hmm.
just between us, since this is an intimate conversation,
Yes,
I'm
just
just
between us.
open. I'm just open. Like I went into this training thinking, I'm just an observer. I'm just going to watch. I'm just going to learn. And I'm like, if someone were to invite me to go and to a senior center or a prison,
Oh,
I would say yes. So,
mm,
wait and see. I'm just this openness. Like, is God going to
love
call me
that.
to be somehow involved in this? But like I
Love
said,
that.
that's just between us. No one else heard
Okay, no one else needs to hear that. Now, listen, 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 Revelation Wellness listeners. Does anyone know anyone who runs a senior center? Let us know.
that.
Wow, yeah, that's so cool. And I love how, again, the fact as the chief operations officer, you're like, I'm jumping in. I want to see this from the inside. And the fact also, this happens a lot for people who come through training. They're like, well, I just want to come through for myself. I'm just interested to find out, what God would have to say to me. But then they start going through the
Mhm.
training, and it is the Holy Spirit that starts just opening the eyes to
Yeah.
possibilities of what else, because we're givers. That's we receive
Mhm.
something to then go give something. It's a mark of generosity. You've now received
Yeah.
something, go freely give it. So yeah, I love that. I love that you would say that. So a while back, you said to me, actually, it was probably like week one. You said, "Why are we a nonprofit? Why aren't
Mhm.
we an LLC? Like, because we're charging for training." Um,
Mhm.
and so why not? And there was a couple reasons. And one obvious reason for me is the protection that we can preach the gospel. If we were an
Mhm.
LLC, there would be some issues of, our protection of religious rights to preach the gospel
Mhm.
and to have a certain level of what it means to be a leader, what it means to be a Revelation Wellness instructor, the gospel that we're representing and preaching. So that all kind of fell under, we have to have
Mhm.
some religious freedom there, and God, thank you that we still have that for now. For now, but also there's a gap between the amount it costs to train people and the fee that we charge. Do you want to say a little bit more about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, that's right. And so this is new learning for me, right? As 1 month three, but we do charge for our different programs, but we charge under what it actually costs us to run as an organization. So there's about a
Mhm.
20% difference that we make up through monthly giving or one-time giving, like we're heading into right now this year end. And
Mhm.
I will just add that we're in a really healthy financial state. So thank you to everyone who's been part
Mhm.
of our programs, who's given generously, and we need to keep growing.
Come
And
on.
so we don't want to just stay status quo. Yeah, ending the year in the black. That is super important. Hear me well. But
Mhm.
also, there are so many people out there who haven't yet heard our message. And so,
Yes.
with this increase of generosity, increase of donors who join our family and partner with us, this then it enables us to spread our message that God
Mhm.
loves our bodies
Mhm.
even further than we currently can.
Mhm. Let's show our cards a little bit about some of our like places where we know we need to
Hmm.
grow. If we don't grow
Yeah.
here, we're
Hmm.
vulnerable to just system breakdown and being left behind in a culture that's moving
Hmm.
pretty fast. Do you want to share some of those?
Yeah. Yeah. So, as we've assessed, like what our needs are, what does growth look like? A huge, huge one is our technology. We rely
Yes.
so heavily on our website, our
Mhm.
different our app that is recently launched, our portals. And so we need to, maybe a facelift is a nice way, but probably an overhaul is more likely
Yeah.
what we need to do. It's behind the scenes, but then it creates so much of an improved user experience for everyone who takes part.
Yep.
That would be one thing. And we want to continue to raise the bar of the kind of training that we're offering. Um,
Yes.
it's like it seems like every other day we have a new idea of something that
Mm-hmm.
we can offer. And so
Mm-hmm.
allowing us to just expand the
Mhm.
quality of training that we're offering as well.
Yeah, I'm going to come behind you on the technology portion. Yeah, and I know those of you who are listening who have, maybe touched Revelation Wellness in some way, used a program. What we've had to do, we've grown 14 years with kind of plug and play. Like, oh, we have this need, and so then we go find the software to plug into our site. Like, has anyone ever seen the movie A Christmas Story? When he plugs in the Christmas tree behind and all those plugs are running into it and he's like blowing fuses and and mumbling curse words under his breath. Like, that's our state right now. Like, we have been able to light up a lot of stuff and give a lot of good stuff out in the world, but there's so many different plugs that it's vulnerable. So in order to move our technology to where we own it, it's behind our doors. That's a huge
Mm,
investment of money and skills that we need inside the ministry. But also, in the end, it's for you to have the ease of use. So when you want
mhm,
to, order a program, it shows up quickly. It gets to where it wants to go. It's not 10 steps to get to something. I think we all realize if something takes us longer than 30 seconds to get our final product, people bail out. And I get it. Unfortunately, again, we've
mhm,
got to kind of come up to the times of what people are used to and how they have an experience. So there's some vulnerabilities there, and technology is not cheap. It is not cheap. It's definitely knows that it's got us because that's where people are. So yes,
mhm,
that's one thing that we know. Like, your end of the year giving is just to help us overall as a ministry, but it's something we see as a big need. Anything else on your mind for our listener in terms of Revelation Wellness, generosity and giving?
mm. I could just share that, I think it was like week 3, you and I went on the road and we
Hmm.
visited a couple of our instructors, one of our Live Well Health coaches and one of our Rev Fit instructors, and we were able to see firsthand how they were going out into their community. And um, it was so life-giving, as someone who's been in ministry for 30 years, it was so life-giving to be able to be on the field and see. And I was just so moved to say, we just need more of this. We need more instructors.
Mm,
We need to continue to equip them and send them out there in the front lines, making a difference in
hmm.
their communities. And so
Mhm.
when we talk about resources and growing the organization, yes, we need the kind of less exciting story of technology and boosting up our training, but really at the end of the day, it's
That's right.
more instructors out in the world making a difference and equipping them to continue to grow and be successful.
That's right. And part of that equipping is getting them the technology they need to get
Yep,
with their
it's full
back.
circle.
It's full circle. It's
It
one
is.
beautiful circle that everything we do does point to how do we send out people to spread this
Mhm,
message. And then what happened is those people go find people who want to get served. And so it's
mhm,
all circular and it's wonderful and beautiful. And the banquet table keeps growing. And I'm happy that we can continue to feed and bring to people this message of good news for their bodies.
mhm.
But it is costly in all the ways. So we're thankful to our instructors who are out there. If you guys are listening, I mean, Anna, give them a little shout out right now. Give them a pep talk, because tell them what they're doing.
You are amazing, and you get so little recognition often. I know that. You're just out,
Yeah.
you're doing your thing, but be
Yeah.
encouraged because we see you and we
Yeah.
celebrate you and we talk about you and pray about you every day. So,
Yeah, we
so,
do.
so grateful for all of the hard work you're doing,
Yeah.
overcoming obstacles, classes where people are no-shows,
Yeah.
insecurities, whatever it
Oh,
is
come
you're
on.
facing,
Yeah.
you keep showing up. And we're
Yeah.
just so proud of you. And I am joining your ranks next week.
Joining the forces. That's right. That is absolutely right. That's a good word. Thank you. We do. We are grateful. We do. We want to keep equipping, sending out. We want our trainings to be available for people to come. That's why we need the help to close the gap and keep our costs down as much as possible while taking the time to invest deeply in people. We do not do surface transformation. We want to spend time with people as they heal so that they can go out and bring the healing message of the gospel to others. So it is a generous, kind of a beautiful I don't know, the whole picture of Revelation Wellness, it is generous. We want to
Mhm.
freely give and we freely receive, and so out it goes again. So I'm proud to be a nonprofit, as hard as it can be, as messy as some days where I'm just like, Lord, why did you
Mm,
just also why did you just make it so I could just, go do fitness, preach, or not preach, just teach, but the gospel is where it's rugged.
mm.
There's a there's an enemy who doesn't want it, and then let's do what we can to partner with that spirit of generosity. I am thankful for you, Anna. Our
I'm thankful
whole
for you.
Yeah, our whole staff is really just like it was worth the wait. It took us time, but it was worth the wait to
Thanks.
find you at this season. All right, friends. Well, thank you. As you are listening and sharing this message, thank you. We have left some links in the show notes. If you want to join our end of the year giving campaign, um, there's a link below. We make it as quick and as painless as possible, so you can just give us your blessing, and we will be so, so grateful. And for those of you who are just considering about it, go to our website, look around, see what we have. We are ECFA certified, back to vulnerability and transparency. It's there. You can see where our money has been, what we've been doing, what we're pulling in year over year. And we want to grow. There is nothing wrong with that. We want to grow and we need your help. So swipe up to get more and get the links you need. And also go see some videos that we have been showing around in social media of the ways our instructors are literally pushing back darkness with this message. All right, Anna, thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting me.
We'll see you again, or I'll be talking to you in like 20
Bye,
minutes.
everyone. Sounds good.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching, and remember, this video was brought to you by Revelation Wellness Instructor Training Program. Do you love Jesus and have a passion for fitness and wellness? Or maybe you're tired of the roller coaster of obsessing over and neglecting your body, and you know there has to be more to fitness. Let us equip you to lead others to health and wholeness rooted in Jesus Christ through our faith-based fitness instructor training program. Go to our website to learn more and listen to testimonies of people just like you who are bringing hope and healing to their communities as fitness teacher gospel preachers. Click the link in the description of this video and download a packet to get your journey to health and wholeness through Christ started today.